This video will describe the network diagram, when to use it, and how to create it. The graphical network diagram is used to identify task sequence and dependency producing the calculated project schedule and the project's critical path. Not all projects need a graphical network diagram. Creating and maintaining a graphical network diagram takes time. However, it produces clarity, engagement, and commitment. All projects need some level of task sequence and dependency. Sometimes a network diagram may only be needed to clarify a portion of a project. The graphical network diagram is needed when the project is large and complex, or it's critical to the organization. There are specific schedule constraints, specific cost constraints, specific quality requirements, limited resources, and differences of opinion regarding task sequence and dependency. Projects have two kinds of time: work effort and duration. Work effort is the amount of time required to perform a task for all resources involved. Work effort drives the labor cost. Duration is the calendar time required considering the available workdays to perform the task, plus dependency on other tasks. Duration drives the project schedule. A particular task may require 4 hours of work effort, 2 hours each for 2 resources, but it may be spread out over 8 calendar days. This is a graphical network diagram created with Post-it notes. Just as we recommended creating the work breakdown structure with Post-it notes, we also recommend creating a graphical network diagram with Post-it notes when the project is large and complex. It's critical to the organization. There are specific schedule constraints, specific cost constraints, specific quality requirements, there are limited resources, or there is a difference of opinion regarding task sequence and dependency. Every task or work package except Start Project and End Project have a task before, a predecessor, and a task after, a successor. Include milestones. They summarize progress but have zero duration. The network diagram identifies the critical path. The critical path in project management terms is not necessarily the English definition of the word critical. The critical path is the path with the longest duration. It is the project schedule. It defines when the project will end. It can change as the project progresses. It needs to be monitored and managed. To create the network diagram, follow these steps in the order listed. Position enough flip chart paper on a flat wall surface for your project. Landscape may give you more space. You can use the Post-its from the WBS or create new ones. Facilitate the core team in brainstorming the network diagram. The people assigned to do the work should participate in identifying and validating the work, the sequence, dependency, time, and schedule. Monitor the energy. If it's a large project, schedule the work into manageable chunks. Tasks and work packages from the WBS go in the network, not the deliverables. The work is what's scheduled. Add a Post-it for Start Project that goes on the left and End Project on the right. Position the tasks and work packages in relative sequence from left to right. For the first pass, just get all the work on the board in relative sequence. This is an iterative process. At this point, don't agonize over the specific dependency. That will come in later steps. As you do this, you may identify tasks that are missing and need to be added. When you're satisfied that all the work has been identified, then move to step 8. Connect all the tasks and work packages by drawing lines on the flip chart paper using a pencil or light ink pen. Changes may occur as you progress. Brainstorm task duration, the calendar time. Select a consistent measure appropriate for the project. For a short project, you would use hours. For a longer project, you may use days, weeks, or even months. Trace and calculate the duration for each path to identify the longest path, the critical path. Or enter the predecessors for each task into Smartsheet and let Smartsheet do the math and highlight the critical path. This is an example of the critical path highlighted in red in Smartsheet.